Join me as I dive deep into pluralistic ignorance and see if I can uncover the truth that everyone seems to ignore. Pluralistic ignorance is a phenomenon where individuals in a group privately believe one thing, but publicly express another opinion to avoid social rejection or conflict. When we're in a social situation, we often don't speak up about our true beliefs because we think we're the only ones who think that way. We assume that everyone else is on the same page and that we're the only outlier. But the truth is, many people are thinking the same thing. They're just not saying it out loud. This collective silence can have devastating consequences. For instance, in cases of social injustice, people may not speak up because they assume everyone else is okay with the status quo. Inaction in the face of tragedy is often a result of pluralistic ignorance. During the bystander effect, people assume someone else will take responsibility, so no one takes action. This can lead to tragic outcomes, like the Kitty Genovese murder, where dozens of people witnessed the crime but didn't intervene because they thought someone else would call the police. Pluralistic ignorance can also lead to the perpetuation of harmful social norms. If everyone assumes that everyone else is okay with racism or sexism, then no one speaks up to challenge those attitudes. It's only when we realize that we're not alone in our dissent that we start to see real change. Think about the Me Too movement, for example. It took a massive collective effort to break down the silence and shine a light on sexual harassment. Similarly, pluralistic ignorance can lead to the suppression of minority views. If people in a group think that their minority opinion won't be accepted, they'll keep quiet to avoid rocking the boat. This can lead to a lack of diversity in perspectives and ideas, stifling creativity and innovation. Social pressure and the desire for acceptance are two key mechanisms driving pluralistic ignorance. We're wired to belong, and speaking up against the crowd can be scary and uncomfortable. We fear that if we say something different, we'll be ostracized or ridiculed. So we stick with the group, even if it means putting our own opinions and values on the back burner. Another mechanism is the illusion of transparency. We assume that everyone else is posting their true opinions and feelings online, so we do the same. But in reality, everyone's just curating a highlight reel, and we're comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else's edited version. This creates a false sense of consensus, where we think everyone agrees with the majority, even if they don't. The desire for acceptance can even lead us to conform to incorrect information. If everyone around us is saying the Earth is flat, we might be tempted to agree, even if we know it's not true. This can have serious consequences in areas like science, politics, and education. One powerful story that illustrates the effects of pluralistic ignorance is the Stanford Prison Experiment. In this study, college students were randomly assigned to be prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. Within days, the guards began to display disturbing behavior, and the prisoners became submissive and depressed. The experiment had to be stopped because it got out of hand. What's striking is that none of the participants realized how far they'd gone until it was too late. They were all trapped in a cycle of pluralistic ignorance, assuming that everyone else was okay with the situation. The results of the experiment were staggering and terrifying. It showed us how quickly pluralistic ignorance can lead to moral disengagement and cruelty. If we're not aware of our own biases and assumptions, we can become complicit in systems of oppression and harm. In conclusion, pluralistic ignorance is a powerful force that can lead to misunderstandings, inaction, and harm. It's only by being aware of our own biases and assumptions that we can start to break down the barriers of silence and conformity. Remember, just because everyone else is saying something doesn't mean it's true or right. Thanks for watching, and if you have any thoughts on pluralistic ignorance, share them in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about social psychology, check out my video on the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a real eye-opener.